Good morning, everybody. Resale Rabbit here. It is 1 degree outside with a feels like temperature of -5. Perfect for a Christmas sale. So, if you didn't catch part 1 of the video, I was actually out of town. I had a death in the family, so I missed Monday. So I basically had 2 days and then a little bit of time on Thanksgiving morning and Black Friday morning to get set up. We are not set up yet, but it's almost 7 a.m., so I have to do the morning video. I still need to get that out of here and hang the special buy sign. This needs to go. Ben hung all these up and I didn't realize that some of these are under $10 retail. So I'm gonna need him to reset these. We got another rack of these in the back to ensure, wow, those were $19.99. So actually, it might just be those Cardinals right here. So if I just pull these off, then the rest of it is fine, I think. I'll take a closer look after I do the video, but at least we'll have that. Special buy, we've got comforters. We've got a ton of Nerf guns here, $10 each. We've got Star Wars blankets, ice melt, and some other random odds and ends here. I've got 3 of these Cub Cadet snowblowers. I'm gonna list them for $1,200, which is about $800 off retail, give or take. I've got a pallet of these pre-lit Christmas trees. We were in a rush, so we didn't shape it all that well, so I'll have to do that. There's the trees there. I think I'm gonna move the snowblower here for now just to fill this area in. We've got pajama pants, we've got fleece leggings, we've got diapers, and I still haven't priced either of these. So yeah, I've got a lot of work yet to do. So can't forget about these. Last year I picked these pajama sets up at Ross. We're selling them for $10 each. Retail on them is $25. So those are gonna be a special buy item. I just gotta get a sign made for them. So I literally just plugged this in. It's been dead for at least a year and it's disabled for 27 minutes for some reason. I was gonna use that to play Christmas music out there, hook it up to the stereo. But apparently we won't be listening to Christmas music, at least for the first 27 minutes of the sale. Already bringing more stuff out. I guess we've probably been open 45 minutes or so, and I really want to stay on top of these tables. And we got another cart going up. So it's 9:17, hour and 47 minutes, I think. Yeah, into the sale. We just had a solid half hour, just constant at both registers. I'm guessing we're over 2, maybe like 1,700. 2,300. Mostly general merchandise. We sold one of the Bucks pajama sets, 23 of the Christmas bags. Those bags, hair? Those bags, I paid like $25 for a pallet of them, like 18 months ago maybe. And we sold a ton of them in the last sale, you know, hundreds of dollars worth. And the last, I don't know, 100 bags, 200 bags that were left, we just decided to save for next Christmas because they did so well. It's now next Christmas, and they seem to be doing well. We sold 5 of the fleece leggings. I think my cost is about $1.50 a piece, and we're selling for $6.99. 8 Nerf guns. The most expensive one I have was $4.60 some odd cents. Some of them are down to like $2.80 each. 3 of the bells. 1 of the red pajama pants, 3 of the ice melts, a Star Wars blanket, and this stoneware dish set, which I got for free. Came on a pallet a long time ago. We sold it in the auction and the buyer never showed up to pick it up, and we held on to it for like a year for him. So eventually, you know, when I was setting up the sale, I said, you know, we got to get this out of here. So I threw it out on one of the tables as a special buy item. But I need to fill more carts so I can keep the table stocked. Cool. The cowboy riding the cat.
That's right, this keeps pretty intense.
Did you see? He's very intense. Did you see the news?
What's that?
So apparently somebody was killed on the other side of town. He was first beaten with a clarinet and then a violin and then a bass to finally finish it off. Police say it was an orchestrated attack.
Oh my god. Get to work.
Cart number 4. Yeah, this sounds loud. It almost sounds like a wheel needs to be changed, but they all look fine. But this is the 4th cart. Ben brought one out, so I didn't get a shot of it. So, something scary just happened. While I was stocking tables, someone asked me if I'm the manager or the owner. He is the director of community development for the village and said that they received a complaint that we are non-conforming because this is an industrial area and we are, as far as the complaint said, a retail store. And he told me that the complainant was very adamant that they shut us down today. He would not give me the name. He said I can do an open records request and get the actual complaint with the name and everything. He said it was another business, so it wasn't a person. Because I asked, is it a customer? Was it like another business? He said it was a business, but he wouldn't tell me the name of that business. But I filed the open records request. Hopefully we get that soon. So he said as soon as possible, because I went and explained him, you know, we're not a retail store. It's like a garage sale. We're open a couple of times a year. And so he asked me to basically give him a summary, email him a summary of what we do so he can figure out what the best course of action is. He said he's not shutting me down today, though. He said they were very adamant that they wanted to shut down today. And he said that's not how we do it. I'm very curious who it could be. The only potential thing that I can think of is the neighbor in the front, because cars are parking up there. The previous tenant that was there was always annoyed when we did sales because there were cars parking up there and because people were trying to use their bathroom. And I've always done everything that I could to not make it annoying for them. Like I had custom signage made that said no sale parking here to try and keep people from parking in front of their space. I even offered to make a big sign with their logo for them. I'd spend like $300 on this and give it to them to put in front of their door, you know, no bathrooms or something like that, no public restroom or whatever. And I mentioned this to the landlord and she said, well, wait till there's a complaint before. So I haven't heard anything. They've been there for 2 sales now, maybe. I think this is the 3rd. That's the only business that I could see potentially being an issue beyond competition just trying to shut us down. So very interesting to see what this complaint is. Also very nervous about what might be the outcome of it. So I just sent the summary of the business. It was long. I always like to type things up in Microsoft Word before I put it in email so I don't accidentally send it or something. And it was over 3 pages, or over 2 pages, like 2.5 pages long. Hopefully there are no issues. And hopefully this records request comes back soon, because if it is, you know, like a neighbor or something that's annoyed by us, I want to do whatever it takes to, you know, make them not annoyed by us. So my open records request came back already, and I figured it out. We did not upset anyone. There is another company trying to start a competing business that does the same thing nearby. In what I would consider a more industrial area, there are retail stores, you know, 2 buildings down from us, whereas they're deeper in the industrial park. And it sounds like they got rejected. And they sent, let me see, they sent a response that says, I am attaching a post from the same type of business as ours that's operating in a non-conforming zone area. If they're allowed to operate, we will open as well, because the clearly our business is being singled out, ! Please update me on this, and if the are allowed, I think it's supposed to be if they are allowed to operate and a yellow sign isn't affixed to their door today, we will intend to follow, ! So that's the adamant that they shut us down today. If the rules are unenforced, they need to be unilaterally enforced, ! and then sent from his iPhone. But I've actually heard of this place. They posted on Facebook almost a carbon copy of our business, I don't know, within the last month or so. I figured they were open already. I hadn't gotten a chance to go there, but I could have sworn they had dates set for like a month ago. But basically, they were told no, and they said, well, these guys are doing it. So it says the follow-up date on the actual complaint for us is January 3rd. So I think that means we will be okay through this sale, and we'll find out what happens January 3rd. The community development director did, when I sent the email with the summary of our business, he said it was very helpful. So that kind of answers those questions. Still very nervous. One thing that's helpful is all of my emails to this guy when I was talking to him are professional and cordial, whereas this other person's emails are very, I wouldn't say very unprofessional, but they're pretty unprofessional, very demanding, and I feel like if I had to deal with someone, I do have to deal with people like this, and I always go, so that might help us a little bit. So not to make this whole video about this, but the landlord who is, I guess he lives in Florida now, I'm not sure. He apparently knows someone on the village board and is going to reach out to them. He said, I'll contact them and see if this is a big concern for the village. So I had a buddy come and hang all the clothes. We had 3 pallets of clothes here. These are all socks, underwear, stuff that wouldn't get hung up. And then the rest is all hanging up. And he did it in exchange for, he filled a box full of clothes that he wanted for himself. And there was some good stuff in that box. A couple pairs of Levi's, some brand name swimsuits, all sorts of different stuff. I am happy to do that. Then I don't need to hang them. I also noticed as he was leaving, this $1,000 box just arrived. I don't know if I'll do a video on that. It's a security system. We're upgrading our cameras to an actual, high dollar nice system. Although I might not want to open the box until I find out if we're going to stay in business. So I'm editing the part 1 video. And I just remembered we had a lady come in earlier. I was on the register because Mitch was at lunch. And she bought, I don't know, $120 worth of stuff. She was really happy. And then she saw, after she had already paid, she saw a blanket on a different table. And she went to look at it. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm taking this too. So it's a separate transaction, $10.55. This time she paid with cash. She gave me a $20. So it was $9.45 change. And so I gave her the $9.45, a 5 and 4 ones. And first she says, keep the coins. I don't need the coins. And so I wasn't sure if she was talking about the coins or the receipt. She said, no, you can keep that. But I was holding the coins and the receipt still. I had given her the cash. And then she tosses the ones on the counter, like throws them on the counter. And she says, get yourself some lunch. I'm like, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. And as I'm picking it up, she's like, oh, that's not going to get you much anyway. She throws the $5 bill at me as she's walking out. The way she threw it looked and felt aggressive, like she was angry. But the whole time she was happy. She seemed happy while she was leaving. She said she's going to be back. And it was so I could buy lunch. So that was kind of awesome, getting a $9.45 tip. We don't get tips. Occasionally, if it's, a couple cents change, they'll say keep the change. But that's usually about it. So the Bells must be doing well. We're technically closed. We got a few customers still shopping. But a customer asked, do you have any more of those toilet paper bells? Turns out we did not have any more. They usually, when we're completely out on the sales floor, I get bummed out. But the reason we didn't have any more is because she wanted like 5 of them. And there were only 2 out there. So we didn't miss out on any sales. But I restocked that. That one's the most popular one. Like I said, we sold out of those plus the few extra I gave her. And then the ring for beer, we're down to like 4. And that's just what's on the sales floor. We still have like 1 billion of them back here, but I think the bells are gonna be profitable. Still haven't heard back from the village. He said he was hoping to get a response by this afternoon. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, ultimately, if they show up and shut us down, even if it's in the middle of the sales day, we have to close and kick everyone out. There's not really much we can do about it, but yeah, no emails. So hoping for the best. We literally just put this out minutes ago. They're animals. Why? Why do they do this?
Hi, John. It's Aaron with the Village of Ashwaubenon. So I did the research on your business there, and it looks like it's going to fall within the allowed uses in the industrial park zoning district. I do just have to run it past our village attorney first, but I think things are looking good. So I guess any questions you have, certainly give me a call back. Otherwise, I'm hoping to confirm with our village attorney tomorrow and get you off an email confirmation tomorrow as well. Again, any questions, give me a call back or email. We'll talk soon. Thanks.
So we finished the day at 6902, which I believe is an improvement of the last sale. We sold 3 of the Milwaukee Bucks pajama pants, 73 of the Christmas gift bags, 2 comforter sets, 11 of the fleece leggings, only 1 LOL surprise puzzle. Remember, my cost on these are like $3 each, so we need to sell all of them. 2 of the packs of diapers, 21 of the Nerf guns, 22 of the novelty bells. Oh, I lost my spot. Spice rack, 16 of the pajama pants, 8 ice melts, 2 Star Wars blankets, and then the stoneware dinnerware set. I'm really proud of the things that I sent. I know I keep talking about this whole thing with the village, but I'm really proud of the emails that I sent him. I try to be professional and cordial at all times. So since I'm so proud of it, before I delete the Word document where I typed it all up, I will give you guys the opportunity to read it. You're gonna need to pause the video a few times to read it. I'm gonna quickly scroll through it. Also, it's weird how Wisconsin Liquidation Center gets so many reviews when I first open it up for reviews, and that just kind of staggered. We're still at 4.8 stars with 77 reviews, but the auction is continually growing. We're up to 194 at 4.9 stars. So I might do another Facebook post to try and get reviews, especially on Facebook, because we have 1 negative review on Facebook from years ago. And because we don't have many reviews to start with on Facebook, the Wisconsin Liquidation Center page is at like 88% positive. I think we have like 1 negative out of 11 or something like that. And then when he said he was reviewing it and blah, 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 I sent him another email trying to make myself look good. And all of these things are true. I'm not going to show it on the screen because there are a couple of things that I don't want out there on the internet. So I will read this one to you, and I'll let you know what I've redacted. And it says, thank you again for taking the time to review everything and look into how our operations fit within the IP Industrial Park zoning. I truly appreciate your willingness to work through this with us, and please don't hesitate to reach out if any additional information is needed. I also wanted to share that I'm very invested in the Ashwaubenon community, both personally and professionally. In addition to operating our business here since 2016, I serve on the board of directors for, this part, I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's a local credit union. I volunteer with the American Red Cross Disaster Action Team and currently serve as the disaster lead for Brown County. I also volunteer at the National Railroad Museum, which is also in Ashwaubenon. I mention this simply to express that I care deeply about our community and take my responsibilities here seriously. As we work through this review, I do want to note that any interruption or temporary shutdown of operations would have a significant impact on our business and the livelihoods of my employees and myself. This time of year, especially heading into Christmas, is our busiest and most critical season. An important portion of our annual revenue comes from these weeks, and we have invested heavily in inventory and staffing to meet seasonal demand. Even a short disruption could be devastating for a small business like ours. Our goal is to remain fully compliant, be good neighbors, and maintain a positive relationship with the village. I said good neighbors because at the time, I was still thinking it was the neighbor that reported us. Where was I? Positive relationship with the village. We appreciate your willingness to help us navigate the zoning standards and ensure we're operating appropriately. Thank you again for your time and assistance, and I look forward to hearing from you. So basically, the only thing I redacted was the name of the credit union, that which I serve on the board. But anyways, I'm just really proud. That's one of my few skills that I have is writing professional and respectful writings, I guess. I've always been a pretty strong writer, especially when it's something like that and it needs to be professional and kind of lay things out. And with AI, with ChatGPT, sometimes when I get stuck on something, I used to look up like a thesaurus and stuff like that. Now I can just say, hey, what's another way of saying this? And it'll help me with that, so that makes it even better. But anyways, so that's that. And hopefully the only other update on this is going to be when they say we are good to go tomorrow. All right, it's almost 7 o'clock. I gotta get out of here, but I did put space heater, path lights up, and then this little table here, that I priced it cheap, it'll go fast. It's only 35 bucks. We refilled that. Tables are all refilled and reset. I'm thinking close the business tomorrow. We'll take all of this stuff, condense it down, and put Gaylords here for people to dig through. That's my thought. Now over here, I also did Pokemon cards. I forgot to do these today. $1 a pack. So I've got a bunch of these. Trick or trade. There are 3 cards per pack, and they're intended to be given out to trick-or-treaters instead of candy. There's 2, 4, 5, we got 6 of those from 2024 and 2 of these from 2022. I got one on a pallet last year, I don't know, about this time, and we decided to do that, and they sold so well. It was an 80 pack, so there were 80 packs of 3 cards in there. It was going for like 20 bucks or so on eBay, and we sold every single one of them. We got $80, and they sold out within like 2 days. So my plan was next Halloween, I'll do the same thing. I'll buy some more. It's something that I really only want to do on the Christmas sales. It's a good stocking stuffer. I don't want to have it in every single sale. But so I figured next Halloween, I'll go to the store, I'll buy some. Well, we got a whole bunch of them on a pallet. So all of these came on a pallet. I don't know if it was an Amazon pallet or what. I don't remember. It might have been the Sam's Club. But anyways, so they're selling, doesn't matter if it's the 2024 or the 2022. I looked them up on eBay. They're selling for about 30 bucks shipped. Meaning $30 minus 15% is about 25 bucks. That's eBay fees. Minus another $5 to ship. That's $20 per bag that I'll be getting if I sold them on eBay. There's 40 in there, so I'll get 40 for these, and there's 35 in here, so I'll get 35 for these. It's gonna be about like $300 and some odd worth of cards here once all's said and done. Now I looked up what Pokemon cards go for in the store, and holy cow, they're expensive now. Obviously, you can't buy these 3-pack packs in the store. I was at an antique mall in Nebraska, maybe, and yeah, I think it was was it Nebraska? Where was I? I don't know. It doesn't matter. So I was at an antique mall, and I think it was in Las Vegas, and they were selling those packs, the same ones, the Halloween trick-or-treat packs, for like $5 a pack, and I couldn't believe it. Why are you charging that much? We were selling them for $1. But now seeing what Pokemon cards go for, maybe that makes sense. I seriously thought about raising the price on them even to $2, and I probably would be able to get it. But I want customers to keep coming back here. I don't want to try and squeeze every penny I can get out of them. I want them to get good deals so they're happy. Since I've got very little cost in these, since they came on a pallet, I'm going to stick to the $1. I plan on doing this again next Christmas. And since by then I'm probably going to have to buy them retail, I'm not going to spend 30 bucks to sell them for 35 at $1 each. So I may need to raise the price to $2 or $3 next year. Unless I get lucky again and get a bunch on a pallet. So we get those listed, and I just taped a pack onto here, and once they're all sold out, we'll sell that one. I did the same over there. I also put the mint tins out. If you remember, there are 50 of these empty mint tins in a box. We're selling for $5 each. I got these about 15 months ago. I spent $25 on a pallet of them. And in the last Christmas sale, I sold about half the pallet for about 700 bucks. Crazy markup. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to save the rest of it for another sale. And I didn't want to do it the very next sale because I didn't want it to go stale. So I waited a couple of sales, and sometime over the summer, I put them back in the sale, $5 each, same thing. And I sold like 5 of them for like 25 bucks. It wasn't many. It might have been more than that, but it wasn't many. So rather than admit defeat, I figured I'll give it one more sale, specifically the Christmas sale. Maybe they did so well because it's a holiday thing. After this sale, whatever's left here, I'm just going to auction off as a pallet, let it go for $100 and get rid of them. assuming there are any left. It's really tough to say. Now, last thing before I leave, I have to go. I got a comment on one of the Facebook posts on the Wisconsin Liquidation Center. Let me check it to get the guy's name. Nathan, who says, taking stuff away when the price drops is diabolical. And we said we don't really generally we don't pull things after, a certain price point. Items just sell. And that's true. Generally we don't, but occasionally we do. And he mentioned another comment replying to someone else that he's a viewer. I'm assuming that means on YouTube. And he says, it's super common that I say we're going to pull something. And that's just not true. I should probably add more clothes there. It happens. Usually it only happens between Dollar Day and Bag Day where, we've got 100 of this item that would fit in one little bag. So I'll pull them to auction them off. On a rare occasion, maybe, once or twice during a sale, we'll find an item that surprised it didn't sell, so I'm going to pull it to put it on eBay or put it in the auction. 99.9% of the items. I mean, you got to remember, we're moving through like 50,000 items in these warehouse sales. We might pull like 5 individual items and then 1 or 2 boxes of items that are, volume. Usually in that case though, they're a special buy item. Like when we've got all the hand warmers up in the front for $1 per pack. That's a special buy item. That's another thing. My brain is like a squirrel running on a treadmill here. We will pull special buy items if it seems like someone could stuff it in a bag, and that's just to prevent theft because special buy items have never been considered a part of bag day. Anyways, back to where we were. Out of 50 some odd thousand items, we might pull a handful. So most items don't get pulled. And when we do, here's how I look at it at least. The business is essentially buying it. No one bought it on $5 day, so the business will buy it for $5 and then auction it off or something. The business isn't actually buying it. No money is changing hands because the business already owns it. But that's kind of how we do it. But very few items. It's crazy to be upset over, I'm not going to do the math, but a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage of items getting pulled. So small of a percentage, but some people just enjoy being upset. Or maybe it was just a misunderstanding, and whenever we pull special buy items before bag day, Nathan assumed that meant we were pulling other items or something like that. I'm not sure. One more thing before I go. Where is it? I had to grab it to show a customer earlier, like right before we had closed. There was a thing that I thought was hilarious. It was in this box. I don't know if I put it back in this box though, because it wasn't originally in. Oh, there it is. We have a bag full of tiny babies. These would be hilarious to put all over a friend's house. And they kind of almost sound like they're glass. So anyways, I thought that was funny. We literally have everything for sale. So I'm coming back in the morning. So it's the next morning. I am so tired. Let me give you a window into the ADHD of my life. I showed up late today. I'm supposed to do the video at 7 o'clock. I didn't even pull in until about 10 after 7. It was about 7:15 when I did the live video walkthrough. And the reason is not because I got a bunch of extra sleep and I'm nice and awake now. No, I am very tired. I got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep. Why? Because at 11:30 last night, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna paint my kitchen. So I painted the kitchen. That is the world of Resale Rabbit's ADHD life. All right, I gotta get signs and stuff outside. It's like 7:40. All right, it's 8 o'clock. We just opened. I'll let this long line of people in the door. I also got music playing. So I used to do Christmas music by connecting, I had a backup cell phone. I'd connect to that. Well, a couple of years ago, I accidentally broke my phone. So I started using the backup phone. I sold the broken phone and then I used the phone that I was using for a while. I've since upgraded, but anyways, too much information. So anyways, I don't have a backup phone basically. So I went to charge up a tablet and it was the one that was locked out yesterday that said, log in 27 minutes. It still won't let me log in. I don't know why. So maybe that wasn't my tablet. Maybe it's one that I found on a storage unit and got set over here. No clue. So I grabbed another iPad. I've got like 10 iPads for some reason. Verizon keeps giving me iPads. But anyways, so I charged that one up overnight. That's playing the music. I think the reason we had no customers this morning is because we were just playing regular radio yesterday. So people had to hear Taylor Swift like a billion times. Opalite and that other one. The Death of Somebody or something like that. Anyways, The Death of Ophelia. I think that's what it's called. Cristiano's going to be so mad at me if I got that wrong. Anyways, so there's so much Taylor Swift playing on the radio. I think that just scared people away, and they said, I don't want to go back there. I'm having lunch, and this is probably the best sandwich I've ever had. It's called the Gobbler from Arby's. It's got turkey, stuffing, cheese, cranberry sauce, the whole works. It's a Thanksgiving dinner all wrapped up in the dinner roll. It's delicious. Ben found his favorite new toy. I might have to commandeer this. I don't know if you can take it.
I'm taking it. I'm a larger child.
I'm a larger child.
It's stuck.
What's it stuck on? That is so cool. So I just restocked some bells. End of the day yesterday, remember we ran out of the ring for toilet paper bells. We just ran out again, and we ran out of the ring for beer ones, although I did forget to restock those, so we only had like 4 this morning. But a customer grabbed the last of the ring for beer and ring for toilet paper bells, and she asked for another beer bell. So I brought those up. These are actually doing pretty good. So here's where we're at. This is almost empty. There's less than 1 layer left. But obviously I've got 3 more boxes. The beer one, almost empty, but this one was already like half, a little over half when I got it. I got 1 box left. Wine and hugs are set. I mean, we've sold some, but they're not flying out the door. Same with the Kiss ones. The YouTube video I have playing for music is one where it's just like hours of Christmas music. There were several that looked good, but they were only 2 hours long, so I didn't want to have to keep repeating them because I never noticed until it's probably been off for half an hour. But this one was 8 hours long, so I'll get through the whole day. But I keep hearing repeats. I think there are only like 5 or 6 songs, and it's just keeps cycling back through them. Boy, it's been a while, but we've got a silver coin here. This is a war nickel. You can always tell because the mint mark is above Monticello, the building. So if you see a nickel with the mint mark above the building, it's got silver in it. I think it's like 35 or 40%. It's not fully silver, but it's only gonna be old ones during about World War II. I don't remember the exact years, but picture, 1940s. So always look for those. They're worth a lot more than a nickel. I mean, you're not gonna get rich off it. It's probably worth $1 or $2, but that's, 20 to 40 times the face value of this. And you can bring it to any coin shop or jewelry store, and they'll probably give you money for it. Or just collect it. That's what I do. This is going home in my safe with all my others. Look at this. 53% battery. That's after a YouTube video was playing for like 9 hours straight. That's only a very slight exaggeration. It's 12 minutes after 4. We started playing at, 7:45-ish this morning. So we finished today with $4,328 in sales. I was hoping for at least 5,000 so we could maintain a $6,000 daily average. We're a little below that now. All right, I gotta rush out the door. I need to be at the bank in 9 minutes. So I'll show you how it looks tomorrow morning, maybe, if I remember. Fresh layer of snow on the ground this morning. I'm getting a very late start. It's like 7:15. I'm supposed to do the morning video 15 minutes ago, and I'm just getting here. So we are reset, ready to go. At some point today, we're gonna take down these tables and put pallets here. But beyond that, we're looking pretty good. Hey, Mitch.
Yeah,
Why couldn't the Melons get married?
because they can't elope.
So Pokemon cards did well. I think we sold like 70 or so of these. Mitch found on one he bought apparently an $80 card. So he did that. We have mint tins, everything's restocked. It's messy, but it's here. All right, I need to do something about cardboard mountain here. The baler needs to be empty, which is why we haven't been putting more into it. All right, this giant cardboard turd is out. Time to start filling this back up. So here's why this baler is probably the best investment I ever made. All of this cardboard, all throughout here. There's a bunch there, a bunch over there, some over here. All of this is gonna fit in here with plenty of space to spare. So aside from being able to compact it, if we were to manually flatten all of these boxes to put in the dumpster, I bet that would take 2 hours, maybe 3. So, you know, to have someone do that, you're paying $60, 40 to 60 bucks in payroll. Whereas it's gonna take someone 15 minutes to get it all compacted in there. Much cheaper. And that would probably be pretty close to filling that dumpster. So any more cardboard we have wouldn't be able to be picked up until, even if we did weekly pickups next week. And that is finishing up. Looks like some got caught on the platen. So all of this is cleared out. I grabbed a whole bunch from up front. There was more back here, and this bin that I didn't even see when I was looking at Cardboard Mountain. I did save some of these bigger ones because they're nice to have for customers. On the low dollar days, I've got maybe 7 or 8 of them there. And then those 2 I think I can ship in. They're good sized shipping boxes. But other than that, we got rid of all of it. So we have a consignor who has a large pile of stuff. Like, we fill the U-boat like 6 feet tall and a shopping cart that it was mostly stuff that we rejected, just low value stuff that we didn't want to sell. So we told her to come pick it up. And then after the auction was over, there was like 2 or 3 boxes of unsold of hers as well. And so she was just kind of dragging her feet about it. And she showed up the day before the sale started, so Wednesday. And she couldn't fit it all in her car. She said, I'll be back tomorrow to get the rest. Well, that was 3 days ago. So I just called her and she's like, oh, I couldn't come this week, maybe next week sometime. And this stuff is in the way. We want this stuff out of here. But then she asked me, well, what's the soonest you can get me the check? So
if you have an agent by, you can send them back.
I'm gonna make her wait an extra week for the check just because she's making us wait on this stuff, because it's really annoying having all this stuff pile up. And when she was loading it out, she was like going through boxes, and so it wasn't left neatly on a cart anymore. It was just strewn all over the place, right in front of the door too. So that was fun. Just sold one of these. We realized there's no key, so I gave him $100 off. The keys are $6 on eBay, so I'm gonna quick order 2 more because the other ones are also missing the key. I can reuse this. So we got 2 left. I'm gonna go get keys for them. I called the local Cub Cadet dealer and they're like $6.68 a piece. I'll happily pay that. I didn't realize they didn't have the keys. So if you remember the last video, I was talking about sales tax. In this specific example, because it was during the sale, we did the price plus tax rather than building it in. So we got $1,160 with tax since I dropped it down to $1,100, which means I really only took a $40 hit compared to if I sold it on Marketplace. All right, got 2 keys. I was kind of hoping I'd run into the guy who bought the one I just sold, because I would have bought his key too. Because I told him that this place does have them in stock. I said I called. There are only 2 Cub Cadet dealers in town, and this is one of them. I said I called this place. They said they have them in stock. I told him the price, so I figured he was going to come straight here. And right across the street, this Circle K is the site of my first store that I owned. Used to be on this property. You might remember the hill there. That's where we were. Now for lunch, one of my favorite places, Taco John's. And it's the last one in northeastern Wisconsin. So I just came in here. I put the key in it. and then realized there's the key. It's attached. This one also has one on here. So I guess I have 2 extra keys. I wonder if the one I sold had the key on there. Yeah, I could return them, but I don't want to take an hour and drive across town to get 14 bucks back. And, yeah, it's a small business. I'm not a huge fan of returning things to a small business. I thought about putting them on eBay, but there's also selling. I didn't look this one specifically up because this is OEM, but if it was $6 in the store and they have keys available, where did I just put those? For $6 in the store. I think I'll just throw these in the toolbox, and if I ever get a similar snowblower that uses this key but doesn't have one, I have one. I just sliced my finger open digging through a pallet, and it's a bleeder. But it's not like a safety thing. We're still gonna put it on the sales floor. It was literally the edge of a piece of cardboard. I got a paper cut digging through a pallet. It's not like bleeding really bad, but it's bleeding a lot more than a paper cut should. We got another war nickel. Mitch just found it today. Someone paid with it. So that's 2 pieces of silver found during this sale. That one's San Francisco and is actually in pretty nice shape. I feel like this probably disappeared out of someone's coin collection because this one's in too nice a shape. I mean, if you look at how smooth this building is compared to how defined like the pillars are here, this has not been in circulation for 80 years. This has. I'm building a little collection of silver coins here that I keep finding during the sale and forgetting to bring home. Ben brought me a fortune cookie from his lunch. Last time I opened one of these, I had to get married, so let's see what my fortune is. Dabble in something new and different. The results will be most satisfactory. Most excellent. Ben found something. He said he doesn't know what it is, but it's going on the wall.
I don't even know how big it is. It's got stuff.
Is that a dinosaur?
Looks like it. Oh my god.
Yes, that's your job, putting that on the wall.
No, you do a good job at putting all my stuff on the wall.
No, you get to do this one.
Oh, it's got balloons on it. It's like pin the tail on the donkey type style.
We don't need the balloons. Just
We're
hang
gonna
that
play
up.
the game too.
Hang that up.
You hanging that up?
We have a new employee here, and he's already working harder than this one.
You.
No, I'm about to go run the checkout for the next half hour. What are you doing?
We're going through these pallets of
Sitting in your chair, playing with your toys.
You've been in your chair playing with your toys every time I talk to you.
I have no toys.
This whole place is toys for you.
So these hair things, I'm definitely gonna lose money on. When I went back and looked, it was almost 10 bucks per unit. It was my cost, like 9 something. I'm gonna keep putting them out, even though we're losing money on every single one we sell, because these are already paid for, so it doesn't really matter what my cost was. We just need to sell them for as much as we can get. So over the summer, we got a sign to put up front. We never got around to doing anything with it. And the plow company is getting very upset because they like to go into here. So I'm gonna try and take this apart. I already tried these bolts. Those 2 went fine. These 2 here are really sticking. I used a crescent wrench with a breaker bar. I'm gonna try sockets now. I got one of them. We got one more to go. All right, I got that off. This thing is still very heavy, and I can't get out here at the forklift. So this is just gonna have to stay, because I'll slip on this. This is just gonna have to stay here for now. But when we do get inside, it'll be lighter, so it'll be easier, because that thing's really heavy, and it will also take up less space. So today we finished at 57.39. So excluding the snowblower, we almost hit my goal of 5,000 today. All right, so we put 4 pallets out here for people to dig through for tomorrow. This one could probably use a little more, but whatever. And everything that was on these tables, we were able to condense down to those tables. A lot of it went underneath, so we're able to make it all fit. I refilled the bells. The toilet paper one was completely gone when I looked at it this afternoon after we closed. And then I'll wait to refill those. We sold a bunch of these today. Nerf guns. We didn't sell a single Fortnite one. We had one left yesterday plus the display and one left today. I did have to refill this one though. I think we've only got 2 boxes of these left and it looks like it sold down a little bit still. This is obviously the popular one. Refilled the salt. I think we're gonna get stuck with a lot of those after the sale is over. These comforters too. It could be the location on the comforters. Maybe since they're up here, people aren't seeing them. I don't know. We'll have to figure. I think I'm gonna be stuck with a lot of these. I think that second truckload, I'm gonna be lucky to break even just based on how much of it just isn't moving. I paid up for a lot of this stuff. Like those comforters, I'm a little over $10 each. Just because I figured Christmas sale, they'd be good. I'm willing to pay up for it. So we'll see. I think we've only sold 1 or 2 so far in the entire week so far. We'll see how they do tomorrow. And I'll make a decision if I want to drop them to like 15 for next week. So we got a fresh snowfall last night, which means I have to shovel the front. But, oh, the wind coming around this building. It's a chilly one. So today is not gonna be a good sales day, and I'll tell you why. So the Christmas sale is scheduled the same week every year. It starts the Thursday after Thanksgiving. So it's already scheduled, and unfortunately the Packers, who play just a couple miles from here, we're right by the stadium, they play today, meaning traffic is gonna be nuts. People are not gonna wanna come here. They scheduled the game for noon, which is, really gonna hurt our sales today. Now, thankfully, I've got a little bit of pull with the Packers, and so I gave them a call and said, hey, this is gonna be a problem. Our sale is scheduled that Sunday. Can you change the schedule for me? And so they did. They moved it to 3:25, so it starts half an hour before we close. So I suspect the morning to be fairly normal for a Sunday. Usually a slow start, and then it picks up a little bit. But then around midday, I think things are gonna die off a little bit. Also, I didn't realize this until I was walking out, but Ben brought another pallet up. I paid $25 for all these vintage floral toilet seats. They're soft, they're floral, and they'd make a great white elephant gift. We're gonna try and sell them for $4.99 each. So, parking lot is getting plowed. We're just waiting for them to finish, then we can bring this sign out. Somehow this tablet is dead. So, just like the other day, we played music all day on it, and it ran down to like 53% or something like that. And I brought it in here, plugged it in after we closed. Shortly after we closed, I needed to connect my phone to my computer, so I unplugged the tablet and used the cord to connect my phone to the computer, and forgot to plug the tablet back in. It still was charging for like an hour, and it was at 53%. So I would imagine it would be, 60, 70%. For some reason, it just ran down completely dead while being unplugged, despite the fact that it was plugged in or unplugged for 8.5 hours yesterday, and it was less than 50% used. This is what was on the radio when I turned it on. 8 o'clock, we just opened. Not a soul out here. I'm wondering if it's because of the snow this morning, people don't want to drive. We've had days where we open the door and there's like 2 people outside. Even, I think, 1 person. We've never had a day, I don't think, where there wasn't a single customer. It is 8:05 and it's still completely empty. 8 minutes after the hour and our first customer just walked in. Things are starting to pick up. They just said on the radio that the feels like temperature is -6, which it really didn't feel that bad outside. I kind of want to go for a walk. It felt like it was at least 20. So I'm taking this opportunity to start getting caught up on listing eBay. You can actually see the table now. I'm listing a couple of my personal shirts. This one is from the world famous Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas. You might recognize that. It's the store from Pawn Stars. This has been in a lot of Resale Rabbit videos in like 2015, back when I was on the road. And I'm listing this shirt too. It's a cool shirt. It does not fit me at all though. So that's going on eBay. If you have a business like mine with multiple sales streams, I think it's important to know your markets. There are a lot of things that just would not sell well in the auction that do great in the sale. And a lot of things that just would not do well in the sale, but do great in the auction. And one good example of that, we had this student desk. And I put it in the auction knowing that that's not the best place to sell it. I just want to get rid of it. And so went through the auction and it did not sell, not one bid. No one even wanted to put $2 on it. We just sold it in the sale here for, I think 30 or 40. And the guy was super excited about it. Great deal, he said. That's why I've got so many different streams of income, the auction, eBay, the sale, so on and so forth, because I can really maximize the value of items, things that sell better in one area versus the other. I have those opportunities. So it was just brought to my attention that on the flyer, something got screwed up. That should be 2026. That's okay, because I will be writing 2025 on checks and stuff until at least June, because that's what I do. A few years ago, I had a problem where when I was paying my rent, I just have a form on my computer that types it all up, types up the check, and I forgot to change it from the previous year to the current year. So I had the previous year on the first, 6 months of rent checks. Somehow they went through, because it looked like the check was written a year earlier and the check saved void after 90 days, yet somehow they still went through. So I just got a phone call, a potentially really exciting auction we might be doing. It's a backwoods Wisconsin bar full of neons and stuff, all the bar equipment. Basically, they bought the building and they're going to remodel it. It's not going to be a bar or a restaurant or anything, so anything bar related they want out. This could be a really good one.
Hey, John, do you want the rest of my drink? There's poo on my cup.
Ew. Oh, brother, bother. I don't remember how it goes.
Oh, honey. I don't know.
I try to keep poo off my TV. So it is 12:04, just after noon. We still probably have 10 people. There are a few more up there. And if Ed Policy didn't change the game schedule for me, we'd be completely dead right now. We have been open during Packer games a couple of times before, during home Packer games, and it's completely empty. We always have a TV set up so we can watch it. We're not allowed to show it. The NFL has weird rules. You can't just play a game for people to watch. But if the game happens to be on in the background because one of the employees is watching it, I feel like we're fine. We're not advertising or promoting that the game is playing. It's usually on a little tiny TV, in the corner somewhere. But usually when the game's on, whoever's here, it's usually the wives shopping and the husband sitting with me watching the game. I'm really excited about this bar though. There's some good stuff in there. This right here and this one, because they're local, Badgers and Packers, will go for a lot of money. And the sign on the building, I don't want to show it because since we don't have a contract signed, I don't want to show what the bar is. But that sign on the building will probably go for 10 grand. I think my paid stamp is toast. It's supposed to look like that. And I have the date on it. But when I'm rotating this, it doesn't do anything. And I think this belt is just too stretched out. I was hoping I could fix it. I still have 2 good years left in it. It goes to 2027. But unfortunately, it won't rotate very well anymore. So the Packer game starts in about 40 minutes. I gotta wash all this ink off my hands. What was I gonna say? I'm a little bummed out because I was actually offered a ticket to this game free. Packers, Bears, cold winter game, it would have been perfect. But I have to be here instead. So what I'm gonna try and do is get another round of eBay listing done in that next 40 minutes because I know once the game starts, I'm gonna be glued to that TV. So I wanna get that done and I wanna get the TV set up. That's my goal for the next 40 minutes. So the past few Sundays, we've stayed late to reset the sale. So we're pretty much ready to go for when we reopen on Wednesday. We're not doing that this time. Normally, I really enjoy that. It really helps out with the game on. I'm going home. So let's get the sales. We just closed up. It's 407. Wow, 4,074. That's about double what I was expecting today. So finish this video up tomorrow when we reset, and then we'll call it a week. We were ready to go 10 minutes ago, but we wanted to watch the Packers drive. scored a touchdown, and now we're all leaving to get home before the next drive. They didn't plow the back of the parking lot, just the side where our customers are, since, you know, we're the only ones open in this building today. So when I pulled out, I hit the throttle, spun out, and was like going sideways for a pretty good distance. And Mitch and Ben were both right there, but neither of them were looking. I love driving in the snow. When I was a kid, I would pull the handbrake every single time I turned, so I would like drift a little and fishtail in the corner every single time when there was snow on the ground. They don't do handbrakes anymore. It's all electronic. And also, Christiana gets so mad when I try to have fun. Specifically while driving in snow, but yeah. I just like driving in the snow. It's fun. My guess is because she didn't grow up. I learned to drive in the snow when I was like 10 years old, so it's second nature to me. I can control the vehicle even when I'm not controlling the vehicle. Even when I'm drifting sideways or spinning out, I know exactly what I'm doing, just like most people who grew up in snow. Since she didn't grow up around it, I can see why it might freak her out a little bit. Wonder if I can see what's happening on the Jumbotron. So it is Monday, it's about 12:30. Looks like Mitch was already here this morning. He came and reset the tables. Basically all of this looks nice, all of that looks nice, and there's some open space here. So I just need to fill that in, change out the signs, and we're good to go for $5 day. I may go through, looks like there's a little bit of room in here. I may go through because I saw some stuff that I think could be stacked a little bit better. I don't think, oh, these have little dividers in them. Maybe these would go for $5. But there are certain things like this is taking up too much space on the table and things like that. So we'll see where we are. I'm really surprised these are still here. Clear backpacks. If you remember during the last sale, I had mentioned that I bought like 25 of those to give away because the Green Bay Public Schools switched the rule where they had to be clear backpacks. So I bought them, was giving them away for free, no questions asked, anybody who needed one. And I had a bunch left over, so I sold them in the last sale. But then I had 2 more left over after that because I had a regular customer who she reached out to me and said, hey, can I get 2 of those? And I know she's not super well off, so I was happy to set aside 2 of them for her. And then she ended up coming into the sale towards the end of the sale and said she ended up finding them somewhere else. So I basically, no, I had 2 extras. So those went out on $10 day, and they're still here. This is the weather I love. Big old chunky snowflakes just kind of fluttering down. My belt broke, so I had to go get a new one. It's basically about once a month I get a new belt because I really like the ratcheting ones, but they don't last long. So basically for the past year, every month I've just been going to Kohl's, get another one, and then they'll just do an even swap for me because it's still within the returns period. Oh, by the way, how about them Packers? Kings of the North. I sold this Chicago Bears shirt today. It's a youth size, so it's basically child abuse. But because I am me, this is the box I'm going to ship it in. I wonder if they're going to return it just on principle. And I don't even mind. The Bears shirt is getting shipped in a Packers box. I just really hope it's getting shipped to an actual Bears fan and not like someone who doesn't care at all about football, but their niece is a football fan. So at least someone who understands why that's amusing will receive it. I think it's funny. And if the tables were turned, if I bought a Packers shirt or something Packers related, and it came in a Chicago Bears box, I would just laugh. I'd probably post something about it. You can't be mad at that. So I'm leaving Goodwill. Bought a few things. I'll show you tomorrow when we get to the warehouse when I actually lay it out. I'm in a little bit of a rush. I came here to kill time and now I'm late. I saw on Facebook Marketplace, I think yesterday, somebody had a nice stainless steel double oven for free. Free! It's about 10 years old. They said the thermostat needs to be replaced, but it still works without the thermostat. So I'm guessing it's just not keeping a consistent temperature. I have no idea. It's free. And I've been wanting to replace my oven with because I've got a double oven, but it's white. All my other appliances are stainless steel. I've been wanting to replace it for so long, but they're like $1,500 in the store. I don't want to spend that much. I'll take a free one instead. And here we go. Strapped down and ready to go. Glad I didn't forget that. The only reason I went out and looked for it, or knew it was out there, is because I wanted to use this phone as my GPS so I can talk to you on this phone while the GPS is going. So you guys just saved me from losing my brand new phone. This is such a nice neighborhood. So many of the houses have lights up. I love neighborhoods like this. Anyways, oh, look at that one. I like all the trees and everything. So anyways, I've been wanting to replace my white double oven with a stainless steel one for so long, but they're like $1,500 in the store. And I happen to see this one free. They said the thermostat probably needs to be replaced on the top portion, but they said they just used it to make breakfast this morning. The bottom, they said, is practically brand new. It's a 2014 model, so it's like 10 years old. It's practically brand new. I looked up online, the thermostat costs about $30 on eBay, and it's like, it'll take me 5 minutes to replace it. And I will have a practically brand new $1,500 oven for $30. You can't beat that. That makes me very happy. But even if I wasn't looking for one for myself, opportunities like this are everywhere. I don't even think you need any tools other than just a regular screwdriver, Phillips head screwdriver, to replace the thermostat. And I could probably sell that on Marketplace for $500-600 at least. With a new thermostat, I could probably sell it as is still for $200 or $300. So look out for stuff like that. The stuff that other people don't want to deal with can be very profitable for you. Oh, I just realized I will actually be making a pretty good profit because I could probably sell mine for $300. So I am making money. I told the guy that these are like $1,500 and I've been looking to get one for a while, but I don't want to spend that money. He said, oh, you don't have to tell me. Apparently, he said his wife was the one who decided to buy a new oven. She bought, according to him, and I saw it, the exact same, basically, oven. It's basically the same thing. And they spent $1,500. Can you imagine having so much money that you would rather spend $1,500 to replace your practically brand new oven instead of spending $35 to fix it yourself, or maybe $150 to have a tech come and fix it? I can't imagine, they're going to charge more than $120 in labor. That's insane to me. So here's the old one. I gotta swap out the cords because the other one has a newer cord, but I wrote this last time I had to do that, so I knew what to use to get those off. I also put this on because this was just wide open here. And somebody wants to say hi. My seamless floor transition. There used to be a chimney here. I took that out to gain more space here for the fridge. See, now this one doesn't have a clamp either, so I took this one off of there. I added that. I don't even know where I got this. I think I pulled this off my old dishwasher when I got rid of it. But I'm gonna put that on here. I was always taught you don't want wires going through metal like that. You want something to hold it in place. I put it on the bottom here, so it'll still do that, but there is a lip here, so it's not super sharp, and that'll still hold it. It'll be right in the center. Because if I put it in here like the other one was, I won't be able to get a screwdriver in here to tighten these. There, these. All right, and we are wired incorrectly. We are wired in, and it is we are wired in, and it is the correct way of wiring it. There we go. These are not actually marked. I wrote those. I think I remember doing that last time I put this on. But now this, I'm gonna put on the other one, so the other one has a cord. And once again, I couldn't do it without the supervisor's help. So the next thing is this panel is loose, and it looks like there are clips that go on there, and it has to slide in. So my guess is whenever they had the back off, they didn't do that. And then the thermostat is that little thing right there. I was to take the back panel off and unplug this, and take those two screws out, it comes off, and the other one goes right back on. It's only like 5 minutes. And now the other cord is wired on to the old one. She's got to come and inspect my work. Last thing to do is plug it in, but you can see all this condensation on it. I want to wait till it acclimates to the temperature in the house before I connect it to power, so I might wait a few hours. So in order to get this side panel off, I have to take the back off because I need to take the top off because there's a little screw in there. But for that thermostat, this is all I need to unplug, and then those 2 screws on the inside. Pull it through, fish the new one through, plug it in, 2 screws, $30 and it's done. I know this isn't an appliance repair video, but I like filming stuff, so there were 2 more screws here that held this bracket on. And when I lift this, the front is actually coming with it as one piece. So I need to get this off, which I think is just 2 screws up front. And she just will not stop. I think she's getting locked in the other room while I finish this up. All right, I didn't unplug it or anything. This is the last screw. Then I should be able to disconnect this, slide it back into those grooves, and the side will no longer be loose like that. I know this looks like a huge headache, but this really isn't that bad. It's just a handful of screws that takes all this off. And all I'm doing is sliding these grooves over these all the way down. Whoever had it off last just didn't do that, so then we'll be good to go. So the bottom one is being very fussy with me, but I got the middle one in, and that's good enough for me. It's not perfect, but it's no longer loose. You actually have to pull on it for it to come out. So I think I'll leave it like that and reassemble. And while I had this off, I cleaned all the grease off from under this lip because there was a lot of grease there. It smells very strongly of fish in here. I think I'm gonna run the cleaner on it. It does not smell good. So I got 2 screws left over, and I just realized the ones that went in like this, I forgot to put on. I'm not taking this whole back panel off to do it. I'm gonna have to take this back panel off again, probably in a week when that thermostat comes. So these will go right here, and hopefully Christiana doesn't throw them away until then. Burners are working. I'm not a huge fan that these are push button. I prefer the knobs, but it'll be fine. Ovens are working, and the time is basically correct. We're an hour off, but we just had daylight savings time, so I think somehow it saves your clock in here, so if your power goes out, you don't have to reset that. And both stoves are working, but here. What an improvement in this. It almost matches the microwave perfectly. They're 2 different brands. So now that I know everything works, I'm gonna get the other one out in the garage and list it on Marketplace. I'll have to look up what they're going for on Marketplace, but I'm gonna guess like $300 and order the part for this thing, and we're good to go. So before we finish setting up the sale today, I've got a bunch of fan mail here as well as a package. So we're gonna open this. This one's already open because it's a postcard. Look at that. This is from Brad. It says, "Merry Christmas from Tokyo. I know how much you like your postcards," and I do love postcards, and it's from Japan, which is extra cool. This one, it says postcard inside, so not as mysterious as the others. So we'll do this one next. This is from Dave. This is not an easy thing to open when you're trying not to get the address on camera. Dave mailed this in one of those Mylar envelopes, so you can't tear it. And so we've got another bit of the envelope. There we go. This is the smallest post office in the USA. And it says, "Hi Rabbit, drove through the Everglades and found this place. Google the history. Interesting place. Dave from Naples, Florida. Ochapi," he put on here how to pronounce it. So Dave, he put it, I'm so confused. He put a stamp on it, but mailed it in an envelope. Either way, and it's got the, what do you call that, where they cancel it, but it wasn't over the stamp. I'm so confused, but I do love postcards, and I've been to the Everglades. I've never seen this place. I gotta check it out next time I'm in South Florida. So thank you, Dave. This one is from Panda, from Illinois. And it's got a Christmas stamp. I don't know why I'm covering my address. My address is down in the description of this video, but I do love Christmas stamps. This is a Christmas card here with a note that says, oh no, it's a little ripped. So just signed the card, but then we've got the note here that says, "Howdy, I was wondering if you ever get any Nintendo DS lights that you sell. I'm currently in the market for getting a few more. Also, I'm an an amateur photographer currently working on enhancing my skills. I'm so bad at reading handwriting. You don't have to have bad handwriting for me to struggle with it. I already read that part. I'm an occasional traveler to northern Wisconsin, Forest County, and depending which way I travel, I'll travel through Green Bay. If you would have any interest in someone stopping by during warehouse sale or anything like that, I might be able to work something into my passing through and would not charge anything. Being both an amateur that could use experience and a fan of your YouTube channel. Oh, that's awesome. So I am always open to you guys coming here, even if it's not during a warehouse sale. Obviously, if it's not during a warehouse sale, my phone just ran out of storage, so hopefully I can get all this up. But even if it's not a warehouse sale, there's no guarantee that I'm gonna be here. During the warehouse sale, you know I'm probably gonna be here. But anyways, I really appreciate that, and I lost my train of thought. Anytime you wanna stop by, stop by. If it's not during a warehouse sale, shoot me a message or an email just so you can make sure I'm here, especially if you're going out of the way. Now we've got this it just has the last name on the return address. So as of now, I'm not going to say the last name, but it is from Tennessee. I don't know if people want their last names on the internet, on a YouTube video. So let's see what we've got here. Ooh! Eat here, get gas. I wonder if there were a couple of Buc-ee's that did not have the magnets that I was looking for. I wonder if this is one of them. It's actually a little bit better condition. They changed them a little bit. Is there a note in here? I do remember the email. So let me pull up the email. Actually, that's this phone right here. We'll pull up the email. We want that inbox. Anthony said, hey, emailed you a while back and said I was sending you a gift. I forgot about it and just found it, the magnet from Buc-ee's. You bought one in a video. I live near, I think there's a typo, near one, it's I-N-E, near one of the biggest locations in Sevierville, Tennessee. I got it, I'm on my way to the post office now. I hope it's the right one. Thanks for your content. Keeps me motivated and gives me goals. So thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Let's go put it with the others. So I do already have this one, but that's okay. I'm trying to get one from every Buc-ee's that I've been to. And there was at least one that did not have, I'm running out of space here to keep the pattern. There's at least one that did not have any in stock. So now I've got that one. So you got a few in Texas, Georgia. I go to this one pretty frequently. More Texas, Daytona Beach. There's, Springfield. I got this because Springfield didn't have any of those. So if any of you are in Springfield and want to get me this style of magnet that says Springfield on it, that isn't one of these ones, one of these sayings, because I'd like each one to be different. Obviously, eventually I'm gonna run out of different options, but please send it to me. But only Springfield, because I only want the ones that I've been to. So anyways, Brad, Panda, Anthony, and Dave, I really appreciate the support. Whenever I get a postcard or a card from a viewer, I like to display it somewhere on my desk. I'm running out of space, so I may have to cycle out some of the older ones to put the newer ones in, but I do really appreciate it. Now let's finish getting this set up. So I'm pulling these signs to replace them for tomorrow's sign, and I think we missed one. A couple of changes I'm making. I moved these up here. I think we sold 2 the entire sale. I have a whole pallet of them. These are just gonna be whatever the day's price is. So they will actually be a penny more expensive tomorrow, from $4.99 to $5, but then they'll drop 3, 2, 1. So we'll let these go. I don't know if I'm gonna be really annoyed with this here, but I don't know where else to put it. Christmas trees, we dropped to $19.99. We sold 2 so far at $30. So we'll just drop the price hopefully, because again, this is not all I have. I've got like a 6-8 foot tall pallet. And then I dropped the price of these comforters to $14.99, meaning I'm only making like $4.50 each on them. But what else am I gonna do with them? Push them out. Nerf guns are dropping. Looks like we got rid of 3 SKUs so far. We've got 4 left here. I put these out. I haven't priced them yet. I actually bought these in the auction and they're brand new. So I got to get price tags on those. And then I need to fill in this corner here. And I think I'm going to sell those 2 tables. I sold some of them in the last sale. I like the ones that fold in half. And then over here, I filled in this area with all sorts of different stuff here. Remember last year when I bought a bunch of brand new tools from a guy? These were with it, so saving those for Christmas. We've got some of these dude wipes, these jute mats. I've had these for like a year and a half. I keep forgetting to put these in the sale. So I finally remembered. I've got 2 more cases of them. We'll see how they do. Some gloves, other odds and ends, and that fills this area out. I also moved the Squishmallows up front here because in that corner by the special buy stuff, I feel like people weren't realizing that these were not special buy, and that's why they're still here. So although some of them are Easter, maybe we should tuck the Easter one a little further down, put some better ones up on top. There we go. Put Patrick up on top too, even though he's not a Squishmallow. So up front, hopefully those do better. I moved these here. We had them here, but when Ben brought these socks up, he tucked them under a table. And then I have to fix this. It got ripped. A lot of people lean on stuff. Table or signs that are on tables like that don't last. That's why we have these up now. All right, and we are all done here. Good price tags on those. I brought out these Packers jackets. I've got them from a whole bunch of other teams, but I don't want to deal with it right now. We're just doing the Packers ones here. What else did I bring out? I brought out some Christmas trees. These are uninspected customer returns. These are high dollar trees. Like that's probably a $500 tree. And we're just doing $29.99. Get rid of them. I don't want to set them up and try them out. And then the tables have signs. And I think that's about it for the day. These are fairly full. I don't think we need to add to those. What is this? Kind of neat. Looks like Dr. Evil's chair. So we're all ready to go for tomorrow. So I was hoping to get this video edited today so I can have it uploaded today, but that's probably not going to happen. I basically need to hit the road now or in a few minutes to get to that bar that I'm going to go and do the consultation at. So that is going to be it for this video. If I get done with that and back early enough, I might edit this video tonight yet, but we're supposed to get like 6 inches of snow, so I don't really want to be driving that much in it. Play it by ear. But either way, you'll see it soon. Actually, you're seeing it right now. Now as in when you're watching it, not when I'm filming it. Anyways, see you in the next one. Stay tuned for part 3, the finisher. Oh, and for anyone wondering, we still have not heard back from the village. Was supposed to get, per that phone call, an email confirming once he spoke to the village attorney the next day. That was Friday. On Friday night, like later Friday, I emailed him just following up. Monday, he responded back saying he still hasn't heard anything and to continue operating as I historically have been, his words. So as of now, Wednesday around 2 o'clock, no answer yet. So keep an eye out in the next video. I'm sure we'll have an answer by then. Oh, one more thing before I close this out. I forgot to show you what I got at Goodwill yesterday. So right here, I spent $23.15 on this. For starters, I got these Brita filters. That one's sealed. This one has a couple in it. And I paid $3.99 or $1.99. I wonder which one of those tags he scanned. Let's see. $3.99. He scanned the $3.99 one. So I paid $3.99 for this, and that's what I was expecting it to be, but I wish I would have seen that. I got this here. Oh, and this should go for about 30-40 bucks. I got this gun magnet so you can attach your gun to like the underside of a desk or something like that. 99 cents, selling pretty consistently for 20. This vintage Samsonite handbag was $5.99. I think I can get about 40 bucks for it. And in it was this, which does not go with it. I'm just gonna throw this in the sale, maybe I get a buck or two. These are really cool salt and pepper shakers, going for about 40-50 bucks. And I don't normally do shoes, but walking by, I saw a Bugs Bunny. These are Nike Space Jam shoes. They look brand new. Very nice condition here. I think I can probably get about 40 or 50 bucks for these, and I paid $9.99. So pretty good items here. Should make 100 bucks or so profit after all is said and done. And it looks like I'm able to get this video edited tonight, so I'm actually going to list those while I wait for the clips to transfer from my phone. So see you in part 3.